So, wrap up of the weekend. After a few days of reflecting, it was a lot to process. I came off stage, I was so overwhelmed, I cried, didn't really know why. But after a few days of just like getting back into routine, bit of normality, it's good to just sort of reflect. And I feel really, really happy with how the weekend went. The main win for me was that I loved every second of being on stage. I thought the few days leading up to the show, I was really nervous, didn't really know what to expect, and I just thought I put a lot of pressure on myself. And however I placed, I thought I might not enjoy the day because there was a lot of pressure. I'm a perfectionist, I want to do well. But after coming on stage and looking at the photos, talking to people, the biggest win for me was just enjoying the whole day. Loved every minute on stage, even though it was very scary. I felt like I belonged up there. I loved it. Seeing the photos as well, I didn't even recognise myself. So it was really rewarding to see all my hard work paid off, and the glow up helped as well with like the makeup, the hair, the bikini. I feel like being on stage, it sort of brought everything together. So the past 20 weeks we've been prepping, we've been dieting, that 5 minutes on stage just sort of like brought it all to life. So I was really, really happy with the package I brought. But me being me, I am such a perfectionist. Like there were things I liked, things I didn't like in terms of like posing, makeup, but that's just all data for me to bring even better to my next show. And I'm just excited to just do better. First show is always the worst show in terms of like you don't know what to expect. Even just like peaking and stuff, you don't know how your body's going to respond, but then it's only going to get better from here, and it really, really excites me for my next shows, but not even just my next shows, like the future ahead for me in bodybuilding. It sort of solidified the fact that I want to do this and continue to do this for the foreseeable future, and like I said, to me that's a big, big win. Yeah, that's pretty much how I'm feeling. Just very happy, positive, and just excited to continue everything. What did you think?
The biggest thing for me was the fact that you did enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want you not to enjoy it, because leading into the show, because you were sort of struggling, food was starting to get low, cardio was getting high. I'd give you a low day and it'd be like, I just feel shit. Your weight bumped, I'd be like, stop worrying about it. And it'd be like, and I think you were falling out of love with the process. So for me to see it all come together and you really enjoy it was the biggest thing for me, because what I like most about bodybuilding is too many people bastardize it because you have negative experiences. So if I can sort of harness people's experiences and make them really positive by limiting stresses, being very hands-on, like giving lots of feedback and just making them aware that you should feel this way and it will pass, it's nice to see you come out the other side and be like hungry for more.
Yeah.
And that's for me what bodybuilding's about, especially for a first timer, because like you said, you don't know what to expect, no matter who prepares you, whether it be me, other competitors, anyone else, and tell you what the day is like. Until you're a competitor on a show day, you can't really gauge how the butterflies in your stomach feel. The fact that you're thinking, do I look okay? Do I not look okay? Do I look flat? Do I not look flat? Is my tan okay? Is for girls, is your makeup okay? Is your hair okay? It's like all these things. And as a lad, I work with more men than women in terms of competitors. So for me being so involved in this with you, probably most involved I've been with a female client going through, because again, obviously Amira works with me here at Elite, so I wanted to make sure she was well managed throughout the whole weekend. But we didn't have to deal with hair and makeup and all these other little things. It's literally like we might get up in the morning, have a meal, do our hair, whack our trunks on, and we're good to go. Whereas, seeing it from her perspective, it was like we got hair at 8 a.m, we got makeup at 10 a.m, and then we've got tan second coat at 12:30 in a different venue because of that many competitors. And then it was get back, and then it was like, right, chill out, eat, chill out, walk, chill out. And then it was coming on to the evening, where I've mainly always been, my guys are always done by midday. It's, I have worked with women previously, but it's normally, it's not nowhere near in the volume of, how I work with men, and most of my men are done by lunchtime, just afterwards. So it was a different setup for me in terms of we had longer in the morning to get ready, and then so my sort of peak started later in the afternoon, in the evening, because of time frames. So I think for everyone it was just an interesting experience, and for us, for me, it was seeing how your body would respond to what I did with it, And in terms of like the package, I really like the package. And I think condition-wise, we couldn't have brought a better condition package. The shape, it's just, again, it's just about refining that. And from the feedback we got on the day, then knowing exactly, well, we already knew what we needed to do.
Yeah,
but
more
it's
tissue.
nice to hear from the judges, it is exactly what they said.
Yeah.
So it's just like, even when you walked off stage, it was like, right, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do. It made sense why the show went the way it went, and it was like, right, so this is what we plan to do after you finish your season when we move into an off season.
Yeah.
So, and like when we first started prep, when we had that conversation in the car at Pete's show, and I said, I think you should prep this year. And you were like, oh, I don't know, you know, I don't think I'm ready. It was nice to feel like you were ready. You know, you're never going to be, you've got to remember bodybuilding's a consistent pursuit of being better. So until you step on stage and then you go through another off season, another prep, another off season, there's always going to be things to improve on anyway. So I think it was definitely the right time for you to get up on stage, and, you know, coming off stage, you're going to push so much harder through your next off season because you've got serious goals now, not just about stepping on stage, but about, you know, going on to, you know, pro qualifiers, going on to pro level shows and everything else.
Better.
And it's just really nice to see that it was a really positive experience for your first one, because I guarantee a lot of people walked off that stage and were like, that was horrendous. You know, we were over busy. They felt like it didn't stop all weekend. It was, whereas ours was like really well managed.
Yeah.
It was like broken down into chunks, and it was just, you know, on the day, even getting from to and from places, it just ran quite smoothly, even though it pissed down all day. And I've never been so wet in all my life and changed my clothes so many times in all my life. But it was exactly what we wanted from it. So
it was manic, but I think how my prep experience so far has just been so smooth. Like, nothing has gone wrong. Everything just went perfectly. And I think that's what you want as a first timer.
Yeah.
Like, Luke knows my body better than me, so it was so easy for him to like manipulate peak week and just the few weeks going in the whole prep itself. Like, and it just made the whole process so much easier. Like, I went into prep thinking I was going to die. I was going to be in the trenches 24/7. I'd hate it. I was going to do like an hour cardio, no carbs. And obviously things are, I'm not going to say it's been easy, because it wasn't, but it was a lot better than I expected. And I think that's what you wanted, didn't you?
Yeah.
You wanted it to be like a nice process. You
Well,
wanted
I knew
me
it
to
wouldn't be a ridiculously hard process for you, because you respect your body in your off season.
Yeah.
So you don't get out of shape. You know, you do your cardio. You don't go mad with food. You have a lot of food, but you eat on plan.
Yeah.
It's like you don't like go, oh, I went out today, I went out yesterday, or you got drinking all the time. It's like, you know, you balance it well. And that's something else I try and make sure my athletes have, is like a balanced sort of life. And it's just like, you can go and do this, you can do and do that. But ultimately, if that's your goal, you've got to stay on track there.
Yeah.
And you've got enough muscle tissue to warrant those calories. Whereas a lot of girls you probably speak to or things like that, in the sort of like first timers, they might not have the same amount of muscle tissue or things like that. So they are going to find it harder. And then they're like, oh, you know, I ended up on 600 calories, 700 calories. Well, if that's what needed, that's what's needed. But for you, it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
So even though you felt it was low, it was like, you know, you weren't dying.
No, yeah.
You know,
in the
I
grand
knew you
scheme of
weren't
things,
dying.
it wasn't
And
that
then
low.
when you had that stall and you were like, oh, I'm 58, and it's just like, it'll come. And it was, in the end, we had like, I think the last 3 weeks, we had about 4 kilo pull off.
Yeah.
It was just one of those. It was like, it'll come. It's just a case of now we know where we are, and now it just drops off, and we're ready.
Yeah.
But
And again, it's more data for both of us.
Yeah.
Leading into the next show, but not even just the next shows, like the next off season, because we knew what we needed to bring anyway, like just more tissue, and that just takes time.
Yeah.
But working with a coach for a long amount of time really, really does help, because now you know how my body responds, how to pick me better, or just more data for the next time, what works, what doesn't.
we were ready for Manchester, really.
Yeah.
You know, we could have competed at Manchester, but you wanted the first timers, so we started prep at 20 weeks because we didn't know how your body would respond. We already know that we could have done probably a 16 to 18 week prep. So for next time, if we're in the same sort of body composition at start point, we know that if we use the same protocols and the same sort of timeline, our prep will be shorter anyway. So there's not this area where we're like, we've just got to hold for 2 weeks. And, you know, that tends to be the hard thing, because it's like you don't want to step backwards. You don't want to push too far forwards, because, you know, leaner isn't always better, or the potential loss of muscle mass being a female, especially in that depth of it, and no, you know, androgenic use. So we knew that was going to be an issue. So it was kind of like, for us, it was like, shit, we're ready. And we've got 10, 12 days. So that's when your food started to push back up. It was like about holding condition. And so it's just, everything for us is just like in positive moving forward.
Just more data.
That's it.
And it's just got me excited for the next shows.
Yeah. and that just gives us a different, slightly different approach to Two Bros. You know, we're going to try something a little bit different, a different look. Well, not massively different look, just a bit of a fuller look, aren't
Fuller,
we?
yeah.
And then off the back of that, we go, okay, that worked. Two Bros, maybe we might have been a little bit softer, so we know to bring. You know, PCA tends to like a harder physique anyway. You know,
Like
Two Bros
condition.
like a bit of a softer feel. So it's interesting, but again, it'll just my first wellness girl. So it's sort of it'll be interesting to see what comes back off it and what the feedback is.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's learning as well. I'm very, very comfortable working with men at that, like a regional, national level, but females, it's like I understand what to do, but I'm not a female, so I don't fully understand the female body like a female would, even though I know what I'm doing. But it's all fun.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it. And the main thing for me, as I can reiterate, it's just like you enjoyed it.
Exactly.
So, and for me, the more people we can put through shows and have enjoyable experiences as good coaches out there, limiting the stresses and making them aware of how they will feel, it's all positive to, keep bodybuilding, consistently improving rather than people bastardising it because they've had one negative experience which is reflected upon hundreds of people, and then it becomes, again, just bastardised.
Because you see so many people who are like, oh, it's an eating disorder, it's not healthy. But at the end of the day, it is an extreme sport. And like when you sign up to compete, you're sort of getting yourself into that anyway. So you know what's coming. People just take it how they want. And like
and it's not for everyone.
No, it's not.
Because it's like, I wouldn't jump out of a plane. But I'd do an 18-week prep. It's like some people think, oh, well, that's dangerous. Fucking jumping out of a plane is dangerous. It's all relative to what we do. It's.
But I think like for me as well, seeing the stage pictures and stuff, that's sort of like I enjoyed it so much because I saw all my hard work pay off on that one day. So I think it is really rewarding seeing all your hard work come to life.
Yeah.
And
it's when the transition from you was like you're chasing progress in the gym to chasing progress in the mirror.
Yeah, and that was hard for me though.
Yeah, and you've just got to understand that when body weight comes down and you are on poverty calories, how are you meant to progress in the gym?
Yeah.
It's like some people might bang on about, I keep my strength and all this. It's like, yeah, you're probably assisted. You're probably over 200 pounds. You're male. It's like majority of people, even men who drop below a certain weight, are going to see some weight is relative. It's like you put 3 plates on a bar in an off season and you weigh 100 kilo compared to 140 on a bar. That's going to feel very different if you're 80 kilograms. It's like you've lost 20 kilograms of your body weight. That's now 1.5 times your body weight instead of 1 times your body weight. It all comes down to that.
And I think that's the beauty of this prep as well. Like obviously I train with Luke, so it was really easy for us to make like little tweaks.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to go for that rep, Luke would be like, no, don't, you're just going to be stupid. And I think that really helped as well. And not a lot of people have the luxury of training with their coach. Like me and Luke are very privileged in the fact that we train together, we work together, we see each other like pretty much every day. And I think that's another thing that helped this prep so much because we could manipulate training. If I had a bad day and my head would fall off, which happens quite a lot, Luke would just be there to be like, no, it's fine, like this is normal. So the fact that like he was there to just like keep my head on.
Ranges,
exactly.
Like incorporate some drop sets or anything just because it's, I'm not hitting that today. It's like, well, don't worry about it. We'll just take some weight off and we'll just go to failure.
Yeah.
Rather than burying yourself. And then that's when you would start to feel that food is low because you're so fatigued, you get so hungry, or, your appetite's so high and your mood so low. Naturally, as a human, it would be, I want food. I want to feel better. I want comfort. So for us to be able to do that is really good because a lot of people don't, as you said, don't have that and they fail. It's like, shit, I've not hit my week and, training's going to shit. It's like, well, training's not meant to be great right at this moment. We're ready, And
it was sort of like you explained that to me because to me, I was like, no, I need to hold my numbers. But the fact that you were like, no, it's normal to like feel like this, especially being like a female who's, well, I'm on like 54 kilograms now.
Yeah.
It was hard to flip that narrative, flip that mindset because I love training. Like that's why I got into bodybuilding. So for Luke to just be there constantly and just be like, no, this is normal. Like you're not doing anything wrong. Like this is how prep usually goes. So it was nice to just like be reassured a lot of the time. That's just what I need, reassurance, because I think especially as bodybuilders, we're our own worst enemy. We always want perfection. We always want more.
And it comes back down to you're a first timer. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah,
so you can hear all these things on Instagram that people are saying about, I held my strength and I do this. whereas you didn't know how your body would respond. So it's to have someone there, whether it's, you know, constant communication on a text if your coach is online, or whether he's in the gym with you. It's just like them to reassure you that, you know, I can see you're training hard, you're not taking the piss. It is a fact that you just have no energy. Or, you know, you've done 45 minutes cardio this morning, you've been up since 4 a.m. because your sleep's fucked. Yeah, you're not going to have the best set on the leg press. It's normal.
It's all about finding that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's such a fine line between training hard but not being a dick when you
Yeah.
don't have the recovery capability, sleep shit, food low.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we went through prep with no injuries.
Yeah, I think
Literally.
that's another big win. Yeah.
It's like, so how many people pick up niggles in prep because we're trying to chase numbers, or you had a niggle before prep and you were so concerned about that niggle in your
Yeah.
quad? It was like,
About
it didn't
that.
even appear. It
Yeah.
was like, but it's again because it was just management over time of being like, you know, and I hate to use reps in reserve, we kind of did train slightly reps in reserve. We
Yeah.
didn't like formalise it being like 1 in reserve, 2 in reserve. It was kind of like you hit sort of near failure, you struggle on that last racket. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you know, we can't build tissue, so why are we, you know, destroying tissue?
Yeah.
It's, you
That's
know,
what you said. You were like, if you take it too far, you're actually it's gonna be counterproductive, and you're gonna actually lose tissue.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, no, I don't want to do that. And
All
that's
we're trying
what
to do is
like
keep what you've
helped.
built in the off season.
Yeah.
And remove the fat. You know, we're not going to build anything. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You know, it defies, you know, basic dynamics. But yeah, it's been interesting. So we've got 2 bros next weekend.
Next week.
You're flying solo because I'm in Tenerife.
I know, I'm gutted.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're going away.
Yeah.
You need the break.
I'll be there on phone all day.
Yeah.
But and then we reassess for the off season.
Yeah.
And get
That's
going
what
on
I'm
that.
more excited for, I think. I've got the bug for competing now, and I just want to come back even better next time. Yeah, loved it.
Good.